Hello, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly UK. Today I'm joined by Manners, and we're going to discuss the NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver match card and give our predictions. In this episode, we're going to discuss specifically Night 1 of the event, and in the next episode, we'll discuss Night 2. Before we get onto the match card, this is the 34th NXT TakeOver event since NXT began, and it's the first event to span over 2 nights. It's also the first NXT TakeOver event to be aired on television, as Night 1 of the event will be airing on the normal Wednesday night television time slot, and Night 2 will be airing on Thursday night on the WWE Network, or Peacock for the US fans. So before we get into the predictions, I'll run through the match card. I'm going to run down in order of the list I have here. Might not be the order of the show, obviously. Match number 1, we got Pete Dunne versus KUSHIDA in a singles match. Match 2, we got MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma in a triple threat tag team match for the vacated NXT tag team titles. Match 3, we got Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Bronson Reed versus Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis versus LA Knight in a 6-man gauntlet elimination match to determine the number 1 contender for the NXT North American title for Night 2. Match 4, we got Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa in a NXT UK title match. And match number 5, we got Io Shirai versus Raquel González in an NXT women's title match. Shall we start with match 1, Pete Dunne versus KUSHIDA?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's two very solid wrestlers who have great in-ring styles, hard-hitting, very amateur base in terms of mat wrestling style between the both. A lot of submissions. I think this will be a very, very good match to watch. I know, obviously, you like the technical wrestling element as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think both of these guys are excellent. I mean, from various other companies that we've seen these guys in, these guys can both perform. If they open the night, I think it'd be an excellent choice because it'll definitely get everyone at home invested in the show. They can certainly perform and put on a good match. In terms of a prediction, Pete Dunne has been doing quite well on NXT in recent months, hasn't he? He's been there, he's been known, he's been at the top sort of end of the card. He's had title matches quite recently, so it wouldn't surprise me if Pete Dunne does pick up the victories again. Although, having said that, NXT could be using this as a platform to give KUSHIDA a springboard into that sort of spotlight.
Well, yeah, because she is finished now with the North American title, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks that way. So, like I just said, Pete Dunne's been up at that sort of top end of the roster recently. So, having KUSHIDA beat Pete Dunne at a takeover event might sort of springboard him up into that sort of area.
But is he going to damage the push that Pete Dunne's now got? That's the problem. Like, these are two guys that could be easily top dogs, but they're against each other to find that one out of the two.
I'm going to say no, it doesn't, because both of these guys are top quality performers. I think the type of match we're going to get from these two is the type of match where no one really walks away a loser. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because Pete Dunne can take a loss and still come back next week looking great, just because of the way he works. The same with KUSHIDA, well, especially from previous things we've seen KUSHIDA do, but not so much in NXT yet. So that's why I'm thinking maybe this could be a springboard for him, because he hasn't really hit the levels that he should be hitting in this company.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe it is time.
So it is a tricky one to decide.
I am going to stick with the British element with Pete Dunne.
See, I was going to go for Pete Dunne as I started making or explaining my prediction. I was set on Pete Dunne, and then I've kind of talked myself out of it. I think I'll go with KUSHIDA just based on the element that Pete Dunne has been in that title picture quite recently, and they didn't pull the trigger then. So I don't know, if they didn't pull the trigger then, having him go back on another run right now kind of doesn't make sense. And maybe I think KUSHIDA could do something more with a victory. I mean, hopefully they could do something with a victory. So I think I'll go with KUSHIDA.
Fair enough.
Match number 2, we got MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. So we got a triple threat match for the vacated NXT tag titles. obviously vacated by Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan due to injury, I believe.
Yeah, so Odie.
Yeah, so got three good tag teams here.
Well, we got two good tag teams and a random tag team I hate. just saying.
Well, I'm going to say we've got three good tag teams because
you can say what you want to say.
Because I kind of like them, but yeah.
Did you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
about. Okay. Well, they're just so stupid.
So we got three tag teams here, and obviously we're going to have new champs.
They should have stayed in Impact.
A bold statement.
They should have.
Bold statement.
I think it would be a good match anyway. Obviously, with the guys being high flyers and stuff, it should add that fun element to the whole match, especially with the grizzly young veterans. They're due a title, I reckon. I think they worked hard. I think obviously in the UK side they did well as well. I can't see them not getting that push now.
They did, if I remember correctly. They were NXT UK tag champions.
Yeah,
and they did a pretty good job of it, if I remember right.
They did very well.
So they definitely made those titles something to watch, something to be excited for. So
I just think it'd be funny having a Scouse accent, always talking as a champion.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Gibbs is good. Gibbs is very good. Gibbs reminds me of watching Nigel McGuinness in Ring of Honor days. The hard-hitting, technical wrestling style. Obviously, I think he does Nigel McGuinness's finishing move as well. Tower of London, but I think he calls it something else.
He's definitely a great entertainer for sure.
Yeah, he's very good.
I think it was last week on NXT where they were doing a little segment between the other two teams who were both obviously at the show, and the Grizzled Young Veterans appeared on a screen in the crowd, in the virtual crowd, and yeah, Zach Gibson is just brilliant, isn't he? Just added something to that segment.
Zach Gibson's done a lot in his career the last couple of years because. When I used to watch him back in the day in IPW days, he was literally just a wrestler. Like, he wrestled, didn't do anything on mic, didn't give any personality or nothing. And the last 3 or 4 years, ever since basically joining WWE, I think obviously the training's helped a lot with the promo skills and everything like that. And he is becoming that full wrestling package now.
Yeah, his promo work's gone through the roof, really. I mean, I remember.
Yeah, it's so much better.
I remember some of those IPW ones where he'd come out and say he's Liverpool's number one.
Yeah,
and
he's just very typical angry Scouse man, wasn't he?
Yeah, obviously the event not being in Liverpool would just anger the crowd, so he'd know to work that. But since then, he's definitely had a lot shot through the roof, which is excellent.
And the tag team partnership, it's just a good mix.
Yeah, James Drake is. Great.
He's a really good high flyer as well. I remember watching the last takeover. I think it was the last takeover I saw him in, and his performance was. They were against the Impact rejects, weren't they? I mean Rascals, sorry.
MSK.
Yeah, them ones. I remember they were in the match for the Dusty, weren't they?
They were. They were in the Dusty.
Yeah.
Tag.
And I remember watching it and seeing him fly around the ring. It was quite impressive, obviously, because he's against the young high flyers in M, whatever their name is. Those people.
MSK.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time. I'm just kidding with the Rascals. They're a good tag team.
It's an interesting one, this one, because you've got MSK who were recently signed, not too long ago. They won the Dusty Tag Classic, which is a really good thing to win in NXT. Like it means something to wrestlers, doesn't it? It's not just a throwaway thing. Well, I believe it means something because of the name that's attached to it.
The thing is, this is the thing. It may mean something to the wrestlers, yeah, but the way it is put across, it doesn't really mean anything to the fans. I understand the fans love Dusty and stuff, but it's like a pointless tournament for us to watch.
It is in the sense that
because do they win a number one contendership, yeah, and they're in a match in a triple threat. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so I understand the respect with Dusty because we all love Dusty.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm gonna say that the young veterans are gonna take this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's an interesting kind of combination because you got MSK, the kind of new guys who won the Dusty Tag Classic. You got the Grizzled Young Veterans who were in the finals of that Dusty Tag Classic as well. So these two teams are obviously two teams that they're looking at. They've got their eye on for the tag division. But then you've got this third team who are kind of new. They're not really new, are they? They've been around for a little while, but
they don't wrestle a lot, do they? They're obviously.
But yeah, in the sense of being an actual contender, they're kind of new to it. So it's an interesting combination that I don't really know where
the whole henchman thing gimmick in NXT has been very common. Obviously, we've had the Authors of Pain.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. Obviously, it didn't go too great in the main roster. This could happen the same here. But literally, I don't know if they're there just to make numbers up. I hope not. But I'm not too sure about them. I can't see anybody winning other than the Young Veterans.
I'm also well aware that they are with Santos Escobar, who is in a match on night 2. So
yeah, I know.
Potentially having all three of those guys hold the title next week would look very good.
The thing is, I've seen a lot of this guy, and I don't think he really cares about anybody other than himself, buddy. That's kind of his gimmick. That's kind of his look. They're not really his stablemates. They're more his employees.
Yeah, but I mean, in the sense of a visual, having all three of them hold a title would look great. So there's definitely.
My only problem with that is the Freebird rule is used too much now. I think we need to go back.
If you say that he's not really part of the team, you probably wouldn't use that.
No,
it would be me and you almost. I think based on the fact that they won the Dusty Tag Classic, I'm going to go for MSK to win.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah. I think they gave them the Tag Classic. The next step would be to give them the titles just to see what they can do. Like you say, the Tag Classic is good. It's great, and to a lot of people, I'm sure the name attached to it means a whole lot of stuff, but having the titles would mean a lot more.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think giving them the titles and giving them a run, even if they have a run until the next takeover, just to see what they can bring to the table. So I'm going to go for MSK.
Fair enough.
Right, match number 3. We've got to read out this list again. We've got
I like this one.
We've got Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Bronson Reed versus Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis versus LA Knight. For the 6-man
Eli Drake.
I have to stop myself every time.
It's fine. You can say it. That's what we know him as. That's the reason he's called LA Knight, just because it's 3 syllables.
We got the 6-man Gauntlet elimination match to determine the number 1 contender for the NXT North American title on night 2. So the winner of this match gets a NXT North American title shot against Johnny Gargano on night 2.
Yeah. My problem with this match is Eli / LA Knight. He come in and lost his first match, and I was confused because there was hype behind him with the promos and interviews, and to lose your first match and then to be in a number 1 contenders match is very bizarre.
Yeah, it's an interesting turn.
But I kind of I'm going to tell you my prediction straight away. So I think because he lost his first match, and because there's no people are like, they're not going to push him enough, he's going to win this one. Just because of that fact, I think it'd be more surprise. It's really annoying for me though, because I like 2 people in this match a lot. Obviously, Eli Drake, and I'm going to say Eli Drake because I just don't care. And I really like Dexter as well.
Yeah.
I've liked Dexter ever since he was known as Samuel Shaw, with dodgy shorts and sneakers and messy mop hair in that weird TV show back in the day. The gut check stuff.
Yeah.
I've liked him ever since. I don't know why. It's just, and then when he did the whole gimmick that he's doing now in the other place, it really started up, and I've liked him ever since. So I really don't want to go against him, but I just think there's just something calling me towards LA Knight.
Yeah, I can see why. I understand your reasons.
But the thing with Dexter as well, I don't think this is weird. His gimmick doesn't need a title.
No, it doesn't.
His gimmick would work on Raw straight away.
It would work on.
I don't know why he's on NXT. It's pointless. But the problem is they've got another character, not the same, but similar as in the Fiend. They've got that mystery pop-up guy, haven't they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, all the while they're using him, I'd rather him stay in NXT because we've...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that.
We've seen
him
before.
I would like to see the Fiend versus Dexter, I'm not going to lie. How bizarre would that be?
It would be very strange.
Yeah. But like I said at the beginning of this prediction, I think there's something about LA Knight for this match.
I mean, looking at the way this match is laid out, Cameron Grimes comes in as number 4, and Cameron Grimes would the next person, assuming that Cameron Grimes wins, would then be Dexter Lumis, and then LA Knight. So there's certainly the potential to have Grimes versus LA Knight, which I would really want to see.
Yeah, Grimes is cool. He's gimmick now is hilarious.
Him versus LA Knight would be great to watch.
It might happen, but it won't for very long, will it?
Yeah, it may happen because obviously he's got to go through whoever's still in the ring, and then
if we're looking at the order, obviously.
Yeah, so he'd either be against Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, or Bronson Reed.
You just need to say your prediction now. Stop second guessing yourself. Just go for it.
I think based on what I've seen, I think LA Knight makes sense. I mean, we had that little moment on NXT with him looking at Johnny on commentary. So there's something there to work from, I guess.
No, I think it's a good call. I think it's a smart decision.
Although Dexter Lumis and Johnny have that little bit of history, which...
Yeah, they have a lot of history.
Which, obviously with Austin, quite recently, could tie into things, so I don't know. But I think LA Knight. I'm going to go for LA Knight.
Okay. What's up next?
Next is a match that I'm really excited for. Is Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa.
I'm so surprised this is on night 1.
This is great.
I thought this was an open night 2.
Yeah, but there's a lot going on night 2, so
yeah,
this being on night 1 gives it a bit more room to stand out.
I think this match is probably the craziest match on this whole WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, this match.
I mean, even WrestleMania. This match is crazy.
I'm very excited for this match because obviously we've both seen Walter wrestle and we know how Walter wrestles, and we've both seen Tommaso Ciampa wrestle and we know how he wrestles, so this is going to be...
I've been watching Walter wrestle for a good 4 years now.
This
and every single match is brutal. And Tommaso Ciampa is known as a Sicilian psychopath, so I think that they can read into what we're going to see. Yeah,
this match is going to be something to watch. I'm very excited for what potentially could happen.
It will end up in like a no DQ or something. Or a roll-up.
Oh, the surprise roll-up.
Yeah, we love them, don't we?
So yeah, we got Walter, who's the NXT UK champion. And this is a title match, so if Ciampa wins, he will be the new NXT UK champion.
Which is bizarre, I think, as well.
Which, yeah, imagine that he would then be on NXT UK, I guess.
I don't see him relocating, though, do you?
I don't, but it is... I've mentioned this before, it is a way of transitioning the belt off of Walter.
Yeah.
Without it. Like, Walter's a big guy, and we know how he wrestles. He's a hard-hitting wrestler. He's a physical wrestler. And you need someone to match that to be a believable win. Unless they...
But this is the problem with the transitional champion with him. If he goes to England, then Tommaso loses the belt if he wins, obviously, yeah? It's going to make everybody in England look bad because they could be Walter, and then Tommaso Ciampa won it, they come over and they lost straight away. It's very bizarre. Yeah, this one is really hard to call. I know who. I don't know who's going to win, obviously, but I think I've got a prediction in mind. In the sense of I'm thinking about the future of NXT, but I've heard lots of things as well that Walter doesn't want to move out of Europe, so I don't know what to believe. But I'm gonna say Walter. You're going to be very surprised with me. Walter's going to lose his title. Interesting. Yes, I think you're right with the transitional champion. I think they can work it clever, and I think Walter, if he stays on the gold and black brand, I think he will be definitely in line for a good title match. Obviously, if Finn keeps his title, we was promised that match, wasn't we? We were. Yeah, last year. So that'll be a good... I think, obviously, Killer Cross will be sick as well. There's a lot of good matches that Walter can have in NXT. Or, I know this is crazy, because remember, it is WrestleMania week, yeah? Is this where Walter finishes in NXT UK and is on the main roster? It could be. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about WrestleMania week. Yeah. We're looking at this and we haven't even thought about what could happen next week. So I think Walter could definitely be on one of the brands quite easily, any three of them, and succeed. Yeah. I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa just on the fact that I think it's the end of Walter's run, and I think there's better things for him in the future.
Yeah. Do you see Tommaso Ciampa as a transitional champion then, that he goes and loses?
No, I think he had it for a couple of months. The thing is, NXT is not live in UK, is it? It's taped, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he can do quite a few shows in the span of a week, can't they? And then obviously lose the title at the end of it and go back to America. But Tommaso Ciampa hasn't really got anything in NXT happening right now for him.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
His feuds are finished. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So I think he will have it. He will have it for at least a month's worth of viewing time on NXT UK. But I don't see him having it for long.
Also, as well, I'm just going to throw this one into the mix.
Go for it.
This may change your mind. I'm guessing this probably was a pre-recorded match, but on night 2, I believe it is, which is the Thursday, which is when NXT UK normally airs. They're doing NXT UK Prelude, which is they're just doing a short NXT UK show kind of before the night 2 begins.
Yeah.
By which point Walter would have already had his title match. Walter is set for that night 2 NXT UK match. He's got a match on there, a title match against Rampage Brown.
What is it before NXT?
It's after. It would be after his Tommaso Ciampa match, but obviously that match could be pre-recorded. So
yeah,
it could have been last week, and they'll, if he loses, they'll tell us that this match was last week. So, but I don't know if that ties into anything.
No, I think that's nothing. I don't think that's nothing.
Because obviously that match would be pre-recorded because he'd be in America right now, ready for this show, wouldn't he?
Yeah. The crazy thing is, if that is an aftermath, and Walter obviously keeps the title, like Rampage Brown is a believable champion to beat him.
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me if he wins on night 1 and then loses on NXT UK.
Yeah,
as an option.
Maybe that's why Walter is on night 1.
Because it seems strange to me that you would book.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Him 2 nights in a row where he potentially could lose the title on the first night.
Yeah, bizarre.
But with the tape delay, they could explain that away. But the fact that they've even decided to do that, I'm going to go for Walter to keep the title and potentially lose it the next night on the UK to Rampage Brown. Because like you said, Rampage Brown is believable as a UK champion.
Yeah.
And it also gives Walter a kind of foot in the door to NXT based on what happens in the match. Could give him a feud or a story to go straight back to NXT with. So although he will lose the title not to Tommaso Ciampa, there might be a feud there.
Possibly, yeah. Let's wait and see for that one. Your prediction is?
I think Walter keeps the title.
Walter's going to retain.
Yes.
That's crazy.
For Walter.
Okay, what's next up?
Okay, match 5, which is going to be the main event of night 1, is Io Shirai versus Raquel González for the NXT Women's Championship.
Interesting. This one's very interesting.
Obviously, Io Shirai is champion, and Raquel González is with Dakota Kai. She'll probably be in the manager type of role.
The thing with this match, I'm going to jump in, sorry, that Raquel has just lost 2 title matches, and now she's in a third for different belts.
Yeah.
She lost the Raw Women's title match. Oh, sorry. She lost the Women's title match against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax.
The tag team title match, yep.
Yeah, and then she was given the titles, the NXT Women's Tag Team match on NXT by winning Regal with Dakota Kai. And the same night she lost that title. So she's in her third match for a different title in a row. Which is crazy, isn't it? I think this woman's going to get a massive push. Massive.
Just going straight off the back of what you've just said, she's lost 2 title matches that were both tag team title matches.
Yeah.
This is the third one. This is the one where she's going to be on her own.
I think she's going to win, yeah. And then obviously she's going to kick the Kai out, saying she's like,
I've done this without you. I don't need you.
Yeah.
And then we could straight away go straight into a González versus Dakota Kai feud for the title at the next one.
Yeah. So my opinion of this match was always the same. I think Raquel, after the last couple of weeks, is going to get that win because obviously there's that. She's lost. Now she can win without any help.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Or Dakota Kai costs her the match in this one, and then she moans that she's lost 3 matches in a row because of her, and then we have a feud between them two. That's the only difference. But I think, my opinion on this match, I think Raquel's going to win the title.
Yeah, I could believe it, and she would be a believable champion.
Yeah, she's a beast.
I would definitely enjoy seeing a title run from her.
She's got some skills.
I am very disappointed that she didn't win the tag titles when she had the chance, because that was one that I was hoping was going to be a Mania match between her and Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler. They did it on NXT, and I was really annoyed. So, I obviously, considering that it's WrestleMania week, I'm going to also go for Raquel González to win, based on the fact that Io Shirai could go up.
Oh, already?
Mm.
Jeez, bold. Fair enough.
Yeah, because they like to bring people up, and if you're going to have one person come up, maybe have Io Shirai if she's lost her title, and then kick.
I can't see them not putting up Water this week, so I don't know how many they want to do.
I don't know.
That's what
Obviously, if they pull up Walter, we're not going to get a Finn Balor match.
No.
Are they going to want to do that because the fans wanted it?
They don't care what they want, do they?
Hey, they've told us multiple times, we're going to do what you want.
Yeah, they lie.
So I'm going to go for Raquel González, and you're going to go for Raquel González as well, are you?
I'm going to say.
Yeah. Okay. So that wraps up night one.
Yeah. So guys, that's night one of NXT TakeOver's predictions. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for night two's predictions and see if we get anything right. Leave in comments what you think's going to happen. Leave in comments what you think's going to happen in the future as well after the pay-per-views, so we know. So it'd be nice to understand what you guys are thinking too. So don't forget to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and tune in tomorrow for another video. Peace.